Done the hard yards, coming through the qualifying rounds and had a huge win over Dennis Isterman yesterday. Matt, I'm interested to know, when you opened your eyes this morning, what was the first thought that crossed your mind?
Oh, I don't know, actually. I was just relaxing this morning and obviously getting ready for a big match this afternoon. It'll be a great test and I'm looking forward to a good challenge.
Well, the media are calling this the tennis test of your life. Do you agree with this, and how are you handling the attention?
Yeah, I mean, every match is always tough, For me, I just try to take every match as the same preparation. And, it's just another tennis match at the end of the day, so I'm looking forward to it.
Well, you still have that look of determination in your eye. Best of luck out there.
Thank you. Cheers.
Now, Matt's opponent is the top seed for this tournament, Robin Soderling. Robin, you've beaten the best in the world, but how do you approach a player that's younger, Australian, and that you don't know too much about?
No, I like to approach every match the same. I know that every match is difficult, and I really have to play my best tennis today if I'm going to have a chance.
Many called you the breakthrough player of 2010. You certainly rattled some people at the top of the game. What is your goals for 2011, the new year?
Yeah, I had a couple of good years, Of course, it's always tough, but my main goal is to focus on the big tournaments, the Grand Slams, and hopefully do well there, and then try to improve my game, become a better player. And I think if I can do that, I have a chance to do well this year.
Well, hopefully the Brisbane International will be the perfect lead-in. Best of luck for your game.
Thank you.
Well, he's the ice-cool Swede and the top seed who's been looking very relaxed this week here in Brisbane. Robin Soderling, a two-time Roland Garros finalist. He has 6 career singles titles to his name, and he is, of course, attempting to make his first semi-final here in Brisbane. But against him, the Australian qualifier, Matthew Ebden, is just 23 years of age. It's his first tour quarter-final. It's a massive, massive afternoon for him. His family were in the stands. It's not often they get to see him play. His mum and dad, they're very low-key, pretty much like Matthew is. We noticed in his post-match interview yesterday that he was very humble and lovely demeanour on the court.
Ladies and gentlemen, men's singles action in the quarterfinals of the Brisbane International. From Australia, please welcome Matthew Ebden. And his opponent from Sweden is Robin Soderling.
Well, if there's any signs of nerves from both players, you certainly didn't see it. We're going to be back with their quarter-final in just a moment.
Good afternoon, guys. 6 balls, 7-9 as always. We have a net device and Hawkeye available. We start with 3 challenges. 5-minute warm-up if possible, please. Heads. Heads. Serve.
Last year, Matthew Ebden went through to the round of 16 here at the Brisbane International. On the Future Circuit in 2010, he won tournaments in Britain, while on the Challenger Circuit, he was a finalist in Kyoto in Japan, a semi-finalist in Brazil, and here in Australia. And he made the quarterfinals in the United Kingdom and France. He also made his first appearance in the main draw of the Australian Open Tennis Championship in Melbourne. This year, in the quarterfinals of the Brisbane International, from Australia, let's welcome Matthew Ebden. In 2010, Robin Soderling won singles titles in Rotterdam and Paris and has now collected 6 singles titles on the ATP World Tour. Also last year, a finalist in Barcelona, in Brisbane, and a finalist, of course, at Roland Garros, and a semi-finalist at Indian Wells, Miami and Valencia. He was also a quarter-finalist at the All England Championships at Wimbledon and also at the US Open at Flushing Meadow and at 5 other tournaments throughout 2010.
Well, there is plenty of anticipation and excitement for this next men's quarter-final at the Brisbane International between Robin Soderling of Sweden against Matthew Ebden, a qualifier from Australia. As we join in commentary, Jeff Masters and John Fitzgerald.
Yeah, and I think a sense of anticipation in here with Jeff Masters and I too. It's great to see a new young Aussie face on the horizon, Matthew Ebden, a Perth resident. He was actually born in South Africa, Jeff, Matthew. And his parents, Charles and Anne, will be very proud of him today. He's got a sibling in the box watching him, of course, along with his girlfriend. There's Tara and his sister on the right there, the blondie, and Kim, his girlfriend, sitting in the middle there with Anthony Lane, his coach, in the blue shirt. And, of course, Yutaka Nakamura, who is the trainer for the AIS, the Australian Institute of Sport. Great team there behind him, supporting him. He's having the tournament of his life so far.
Well, he's going to need to have the match of his life, isn't he, Fitzy, against Robin Soderling, 26 years of age and the 5th best player in the world according to the rankings at the moment, the top seed here, and the last couple of years have been really outstanding for him, and he finished 2010 rather well into the bargain, winning the ATP Masters 1000 in Paris, and of course a finalist at the French again this year. Only lost well, he hasn't lost any sets, in fact, in this tournament, and indeed hasn't even dropped serve in this tournament to date. So he's in good form, Fitzy.
Oh, and he's a tough player. So the test of his life for Matthew Ebden. It'll be interesting to see how he handles the type of ball that comes at him today. You can see there his world ranking at 172. He's 23 years of age, so he's a late developer. That's okay. Don't mind the late developers. Get everything in order before they really have to test themselves. And look, you know, he'll have some butterflies, there's no doubt, but if he can match the heavy ball from the start, he can get a decent start against Soderling and settle down early. It'll be nice to see what he can do. The umpire for this quarter-final in the Brisbane International is Roland Herfel from Germany.
Two minutes.
completing their warm-ups, these two players. One ranked 5 in the world, the other a young Aussie on the way up. Renee Stubbs is sitting courtside. Must be a good atmosphere out there.
Sorry guys, forgot to turn my mic on. Yeah, it's a real buzz out here. Fantastic opportunity for Matt Ebden. Super win yesterday against the number 8 seed and now going up against the number 1 seed. Almost another gear he's got to go in this match. I feel Soderling is just going to bring you so much power, and Matty's going to have to use that athleticism to run a lot of those big shots down from Soderling, and he's going to have to serve as well as he did yesterday. But a big occasion here for Matthew Ebden.
Robin Soderling won the toss and elected to serve.
Absolutely, Renee, and this is where an individual's temperament really gets put on display. And you know, at this level, you need to have a lot of self-belief. You need self-belief verging on the arrogance, and I mean that verging on the arrogance. We don't want to see any genuine arrogance out there, but you know, we need to have somebody who really believes, and he's going to need to have that strong self-belief, and he's going to need to enjoy the sense of the occasion. And if he gets away to a good start, obviously that will help into the bargain. So plenty to look forward to from Matt's point of view, and of course also from Robin Soderling. It's a wonderful opportunity for the Brisbane public and everyone else watching at home to see this man who's just seemingly getting better and better. Soderling, he's a genuine contender at any of the Grand Slams now, and we are privileged indeed to have him here in Brisbane.
Definite Grand Slam contender, this man. So Soderling to serve.
Fabulous point. Going toe-to-toe from the back of the court, and again Soderling at full stretch, still able to generate so much pace from that end range position. That's one of the strengths of the man. He's tall but very powerful, even when stretched wide.
I saw him flexing that knee a little bit yesterday, Robin Soderling. It looks like that might be a patella tendon issue there, just below the kneecap at the front. Quite often see players with a tight bandage around that part of the leg.
Yeah, we're going to see if that right knee affects Soderling throughout this match, and important for Matt Ebden to try and make him move around as much as possible and bend as much as he can.
Pretty solid start there.
7 Summer of Tennis is proudly brought to you by ANZ. We live in your world. Panadol relieves, respects body first. And Optus, the official telecommunications provider of the Australian Open.
Soderling breaking a sweat there in the first game. His heart rate was up a little bit at 30 all, but then of course the big cannon came through for him in the first serve. And a little bit of pressure then reverts to Matthew Ebden now in his first service game. You can already hear the crowd so enthusiastic for him. Well, he's quick. No doubt about his athleticism, Matthew Ebden. He is a very quick athlete.
15.
Doesn't do enough with this volley. That got him into trouble, and somehow he just somehow he gets out of it by anticipating. But good athlete.
Oh.
I'm not sure he's seen that type of ball come at him too often, though, Matthew Ebden.
No, maybe not. He's seen plenty of other balls this week, though. He's played 14 sets this week, Matthew Ebden, because he had to come through qualifying. And by comparison, Soderling's played 4.
For me, the fascinating thing here, Jeff, might be how Matthew Ebden handles the power of Soderling, whether he uses it to his advantage and actually uses the speed of the Soderling ball to benefit himself, or whether it does just get too explosive for him. If he can manage the power a little bit from Soderling and get involved in some of these points, then he can use his speed. You've got to be able to absorb that heavy ball, though. Good start from Matthew Ebden. That'll give him some confidence.
Speaks for himself. I guess, he's 5 in the world, final of slams, beating the best guys there are out there. So, if there's ever a time I need to test my skills, I guess it's against a guy like that. So, if that happens to be the matchup, then I'll look forward to going out and testing my skills and seeing where I'm at against one of the best players out there.
That's what Matthew Ebden had to say yesterday about Robin Soderling. That was actually after he'd won his second round match and didn't know who he was playing yet, but he was assuming it was probably this man.
Yes. He assumed correctly. They certainly come out looking quite relaxed going after his shots. The key for him to stay in any protracted rallies will be to keep some length, Matthew Ebden. And this is a good length here. That's indicative of what he's going to need to do, because if he falls short at all, the power of Soderling will just be far too much for anybody to handle. Not his quickest serve, Soderling, 216 k's an hour, but this is one of his favourites, the flat one out to the backhand of the second court. He was up over 220 k's an hour in his match last night.
I think this has been a very acceptable start, though, from Matthew Ebden. He'll derive some form of confidence out of being able to stay with the speed of the ball in these first few games and settle down. There's Claudio Pistolesi, the new coach of Robin Soderling. Too good. There's the short return you talked about, Jeff. He puts those away. 2-1 Soderling.
Soderling leads 2 games to 1. Time. 50.
Good stuff. That's composure and picking the right shot.
And it's self-confidence, isn't it? You spoke earlier about the importance of having that genuine self-confidence, and to go for this shot, you've got to really feel good about your game and forget about who you're playing against.
Yeah, he started well. He looks good, Renee, out there.
Oh, I'm so impressed. And, just those sort of shots, when you hit a forehand drop shot, like not exactly high percentage, but he also sees that Robin Soderling is a long way behind the baseline. He's not exactly known for his movement forward, Robin. He might be tall, might be able to get out to those end range ones on the baseline, but moving forward, not such a special thing. So not a bad shot. Wouldn't suggest him doing it all the time, but not a bad choice of shots on that occasion. To me, it just shows a clear head, and like you talked about, guys, really special for him to start this way and just hang in there against Soderling early on and absorb the pressure and the pace from the Soderling balls coming at him.
Well, even then, it took a heck of a Soderling shot to win the point. There's two things I like here. Matt Ebden is picking the serve a little bit and not being overawed by the power of the serve from Soderling, getting a lot of balls back into play. And then his speed, his foot speed around the back of the court is not easy to hit a winner against, even when you hit with the pace of this man. So he's making Soderling play here, no doubt.
I'm getting interested to see if and when Matthew might use Hawkeye, because I doubt if he's ever played in a situation where Hawkeye's been available.
It's a good indication too if a player doesn't look off balance and he doesn't look late on his shots, and Matthew definitely doesn't. A lot of players would be in this situation against this power.
40-50.
But it's also maintaining that level over a long period of time to have a chance to actually beat a guy like this. You can play well for a short amount of time. That's Charles Ebden there, I think, behind the hat on the right of screen.
Oh yes, like it. Took that second serve very early and with a short backswing. Look where he is in the court, moving forward, short backswing, and just used the pace of the serve and redirected beautifully.
Gee, interesting. You don't see Soderling hit too many doubles.
I just wonder if that right knee strapping is affecting his second serve, because often you have to get a little bit lower on the second serve to get the kick and the spin. So we'll, like I said, keep an eye on that.
Gee, he nearly won that point too, and you know that. I reckon the speed is a little bit off-putting for Soderling at the moment. The foot speed of Ebden, because he's able to retrieve so many balls, maybe that Robin is not used to having come back at him. Stays ahead though, Soderling, with a big ace from the second court. He leads 3-2.
Soderling leads 3-2.
I can speak for myself that when a couple of years ago when I played top-ranked player, you know, I played without any pressure at all, and I always enjoyed the matches. And it was, for me at least, it was easier to play when I felt that I had nothing to lose.
So certainly holding his own here, Matthew Ebden, so far in this match against a world-class player. Number 5 in the world, the Swede, Robin Soderling, the 2-time French Open finalist. Very daunting and imposing figure down the other end, but it hasn't fazed the young Western Australian too much yet. Ebden to serve here, 2-3.
Pushed him wide, I think.
So Soderling has challenged this, but I'm pretty sure it's wide. I'm not going to bet my house, Jeff, but catches the line. Look at that. By 3 millimetres, we're told. And Matthew can't believe it. He thought it was out. And so did Roland Herfel, the central umpire. He overruled that ball. Important challenge for Soderling, that was. There's no doubt, though, Matthew Ebden, with all those matches under his belt this week and these conditions, is paying a lot of dividends because that just grows confidence. You win, you get more confident. And he's got a lot of wins under his belt here with nothing to lose against Soderling. He's playing to a high level.
First service.
Well, Soderling, I think, thought that ball went through the net. That's what I believe.
It's hard to imagine. Certainly, that didn't register with me.
Just a little bit of gamesmanship here. My read on that last incident was that Soderling thought the first serve went through the tape. He asked Matt Ebden what he thought, and Matt sort of said, I don't know. And then just to use something to fire himself up, Soderling used a little bit of gamesmanship there to follow up.
Good length from Ebden. It may not look spectacular, but if you keep the ball deep, you really are unlikely to get into any trouble. And you can see here his shots are a metre and a half from the baseline regularly, and finally Soderling too big. Lost patience.
Yeah, danger time though.
30-40.
So in a blink of an eye, you can be playing to a high level, but if you just lose a fraction of concentration or miss one or two easy shots in a rally, you find yourself in this situation. Break point. Well, he tried to sneak in. Okay. Yesterday in his press conference, Robin Soderling suggested that it was easy to play without pressure if you're playing a higher ranked guy.
I can speak for myself that when a couple of years ago when I played top ranked player, I played without any pressure at all, and I always enjoyed the matches, and it was, for me at least, it was easier to play when I felt that I had nothing to lose.
Yeah, that nothing to lose attitude can help sometimes, and he was inferring that Matt Ebden would have those conditions today against him.
Oh dear, he's missed.
50.
Well, Renee mentioned earlier that Soderling's not so proficient coming forward, and this was the case again. It's not a great drop shot, but he didn't do a lot, did he, Renee?
Well, some guys just, when they move forward, they're very comfortable at the net, and that is certainly not what Soderling is, and you could tell there, didn't really do much with that shot, but Matt really messed that one up.
Well, he's used Hawkeye, Matt. He did it rather
casually.
Well, yeah, and he's got it wrong, but worth a challenge.
And we believe that might be Anne Ebden up there on the left. Not sitting with Dad. And one of Matt's nieces in that pram. We can't see her. This is what can happen against a great player. And I know that terminology is overused a bit in sport, but it's fair to say I think Soderling is, if he's not a great player now, he might be if he wins an Australian Open or a French Open this year. He's high quality and he's got the jump on Matty Ebden now. It's been close, but just got the upper hand at the moment. And it looks like with a statement he seals the fate of that game, although Ebden has challenged again.
Well, whatever, it was horribly quick, 226 kilometres an hour, and it's deep though.
That's the foot speed enabled Ebden to hit that shot. Deceptively quick he is on his feet. Gets there with time to spare and just threads it. Maybe a little lucky with a slight miss hit, but he certainly intended to go down the line. It's game this time to Soderling though. He leads 5-2 in the first set. Well, I think there'll be an inkling of disappointment in Matty Ebden at the moment. He's down a break. He's made a good account of himself, but when you're a competitive individual, gee, I thought this was Brisbane, not Wimbledon. Strawberries and cream. Did you see that?
Very nice. Yeah. They're probably Queensland strawberries.
But when you're a competitive individual, you don't like to be losing in a two-horse race. So there'll be some angst a little bit in his make-up at the moment, Matty. But look, he's accounting for himself well, and he deserves to be on the court here with Soderling, performing quite well. He's got new balls.
Yes, one of the major differences, as we expected, is the serving prowess. Soderling has won 84% of points when the first serve goes into play. That'll help Ebden, but his stats, even after that serve, he's winning 67% of points when first serve goes into play. So it's quite a statistical difference, and the Soderling first serve power is quite phenomenal.
You can see there the serve not in the same, not quite in the same range of speed as Soderling's, but he's got a lot of accuracy. There's Kim. No, that's not Kim, is it? Another challenge. It looks like he might be right there, Soderling. That was a quick challenge. Second serve for Ebden. So nothing to lose here for Matthew Ebden now. First point would be handy.
Would be handy.
We said that there's one challenge remaining.
Missed it. Good scramble from Ebden. He was in trouble here. Short response off a big serve. Does exceptionally well to get racket on ball, and it turned out an awkward shot for Soderling, so he has won the first point.
You know, Jeff, I was talking to Darren Cahill the other day, who knows the men's international game as well as anybody. He said he couldn't think of one person in the first 50 in the men's game who wasn't lightning quick. So if your foot speed is not up to scratch, you need to improve it very quickly if you want to get into the top echelon of the men's game.
Oh. 30-15.
Now, of course, you're absolutely right. I mean, quick feet allows you to get into great position to hit the ball, but of course it also means that you scramble better, and your opponent realises that unless they hit closer to the line and with more pace, you're going to run it down, so you intimidate. So you're absolutely right. No speed, no good.
So it looks like he's going to consolidate here, Soderling. He's turned into a great professional. Not only is he good, but when you go through all these pressure moments in these big matches, and you have the wisdom of a wily old coach as well in your corner, you're tough to beat. The set's over. The Swede, Robin Soderling, the #1 seed here, is on the board first.
Second sets, Ebden to serve.
Good change up.
Yep, a little change of pace and a serve and volley. His brain switched on.
Well, he's no silly young man. He's doing a Bachelor of Commerce, I believe. Good to see. I think a bit of that education can actually help you on a tennis court. Helps you think through these situations.
30-15.
Beautiful.
Wonderful point. He's going well, Matthew Ebden. I must admit, I was a little concerned about the fact that he would never have seen a heavy ball like this from anyone before. And that was one thing I wondered, whether it would actually really blow him off the court, or whether he'd be able to stay with that with his leg speed. And the latter is, in fact, evolving, I think. He's handling the speed.
40-30.
Well, number one for Ebden.
Yeah, first double fault, a little pushy there. Really needs to hang on here. Opening game of a set, take a lead. Makes you feel a lot better if you're in front rather than behind.
Gee, I think he might have been tempted there to question that first return of Soderling's. Once he's hit the forehand and deemed to have continued with the point, he can't re-challenge. So break point now.
Mr. Ebden is challenging the center service now call. Was called out.
Well, that's the first sign of just dropping off the pace slightly there from Matthew Ebden. That was a disappointing end to that game. Look, Renee, you're sitting with Matthew Ebden's coach in the stands, Anthony Lane.
I'm sitting here with Anthony. I mean, obviously that's a bit of a concern, but what's your biggest concern so far in the match?
I think he sort of settled fairly well early, but he's probably not quite as settled at the moment. You see he's sort of looking around a little bit, maybe not quite as focused as he could be, but that's to be expected, I think. Big occasion, playing quality opponent. Hopefully he can sort of just settle a little bit and have a think about his tactics, what he's trying to do.
And what are those tactics? What were they starting the match?
Well, initially, Too much flair early, just try and absorb a little bit of the pace and then start to try and use a few other variations. Maybe try and draw him in a little bit, and maybe Matt coming forward, try and just break the rhythm a little bit, because I didn't feel like he'd go toe-to-toe from the back of the court.
Yeah, Fitzy has talked numerous times about how he would handle the pace, and I think he's handling it pretty well, but you're right, mixing it up a little bit better and handling the occasion a little bit better right now.
Yeah, I think, one of Matt's strengths is his speed, and he doesn't mind pace, so I think he can absorb it a little bit, but he just needs to stay focused and find some other ways to get some points, I think. And with that variation, I think maybe that's the way in for him, but now he's just got to settle himself down, concentrate really hard, and see if he can't wrestle a bit of control back.
Well, Anthony Lane there, coach of Matt Ebden, obviously experience is going to make a lot of difference out here, and I'm going to throw it back to you guys.
I've known Laney for a lot of years. He's another one of those good South Australians, Jeff.
Yeah, well, you're right. I'm sitting next to another really good one. Made Coccolici very famous.
Yeah, look, Matty, he just has dropped off slightly, though, hasn't he? The end of that first, beginning of this. And that's the difficulty for a young player who's experiencing this for the first time.
Yes, it is, and what he's got to be careful of now is to not lose confidence and think, all right, well, it's a matter of just putting up a good showing and getting a couple of games to make it look good. He's got to still think that, as an attitude, I may be able to win this. The odds are against it, but I've got to think positively. I've got to think about winning, not just getting a few games to make it look close. Bad news for Ebden is that in this tournament so far, Soderling is yet to drop serve.
And as you said yesterday, that's probably his favourite to the second court. Of course, down the middle to the first court.
Yeah, he's a tall man. It's not a classical action by any means, but he's got a good leg drive, terrific throwing motion, and he's tall enough to hit those flat serves exceptionally well. Doesn't hit the swinger with a great deal of angle, so you've really got to try and cover the flat one wherever possible. That's a good swinger. You could see how much the ball broke away, even from a man as tall as Soderling. He was at full stretch, the ball just curling away from him.
Game
Ebden breaks through on the second set. He's on the board and leads 2-1. Still down a break though.
Soderling leads 2 games to 1. Tackle.
Some of the outside patrons here at Pat Rafter Arena getting a coffee, getting a chicken sandwich. Plenty of action. Gee, the rain has been
relentless.
Yeah, it has though. It seems to have cleared up a little bit for now. Still overcast in Brisbane.
This is a time for Ebden to look to strike, because sometimes just early in a second set players can just get a little flat. They've had to work hard mentally and physically the first set. Can have a little letdown early in a second. And there we go, love 30. The door is just ajar.
Yeah, I think the speed of your opponent, if he's quick, then you always tend to go for a little bit more, go for the finer angle or the harder shot, and that time catching the tape.
We spoke of the Soderling service action. Look at the leg drive, the knee bend, really up into the ball. That's where he gets so much power. Those legs, left arm stays up a long time.
30.
And I don't think I've seen such a high ball toss since Ivan Lendl.
Yeah,
it's up there.
It is up there, and might be a bit of an issue outdoors on windy days. Indoors, no problem.
Well, he's such a timer of the ball with the serve, with the ground strokes, has quite a large swing on both the forehand and backhand, even with the serve. So he's a tall man.
40, 30.
And I tell you, when he uses all of his height and gets after it, 225 Ks.
Yeah, he was there or thereabouts with this speed last night, and that is big. Look how flat the racket face is here at impact.
And for a right-hander, that is the serve that will register the highest on the speed gun, the one down the middle on the first court. So from love 30, he serves his way, bludgeons his way out of trouble there, Soderling. Consolidates that break.
Yeah, here's the direction of the Soderling first serve. The red dots, the aces, look how close they are to the lines. And a smattering of balls wide to the forehand on the first court, but as you can see, they're not that close to the line. It's not his favourite serve. It's more down the centre tee to the first court, and then those bunches of about 8 wide to the backhand of the second court. That's his favourite serve. Really unloads on that. Very flat, but very tall. Gets away with it.
Yeah, and there's what Anthony Lane was talking about. Just trying to mix it up a little bit. You can't necessarily go toe-to-toe forever with Soderling. And to improve your game and go to the next level, a bit of variety is very helpful. So to have an all-court game is beneficial, no doubt.
Mr. Ebden is challenging the baseline call. The ball was called good.
Well, a brave call here, guys, because if he doesn't get this right, he's going to lose the point. Because he stopped playing the point.
Call stands. 15 all. Mr. Ebden has one challenge remaining.
That's been his best serve this afternoon, that wide swinger. Again, really gets some good curl on the ball.
Deuce.
Outstanding.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely outstanding.
I think that's a case in point, isn't it? At end range, he's still got power because for all the money in China, I would have thought he, well, not that much. But I thought he was going to win this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Ebden could not have hit a better approach shot, and that's got to be disheartening.
Just a sign there of Soderling's lack of total versatility. You know, a little bit bricky when he moves forward in the court with some of his volleys and his reactions. He was made to look a little bit out of step there, wasn't he? A little late on that one.
The best part about that, guys, is that he watched the replay and I don't think he could believe how bad that shot was.
The problem is when he gets set, which is 99% of the time, that's what he can do. Just a little bit concerning here for Ebden. Gee, another break point and in danger here of letting this match be blown wide open.
Well, he had the courage to play the point as he did just 2 or 3 previous when he hit that excellent approach shot into the corner, and Soderling at full range hit that wonderful pass, but Ebden saying, well, I want to see you do it again.
Net first service.
I was about to say, on that passing shot, all the money in China was safe, right, Fitzy?
Mr. Soderling is challenging the baseline call. The ball was called out.
Not sure about this, but the concerning thing for me is that Ebden's ground strokes are starting to fall a little short. And that's a good challenge.
Yeah, so they'll have to replay the point.
Advantage Soderling.
No.
No, I saw it differently. I saw it a late call. For me, it was a late call. It came off your racket. It came off your racket and then came the call.
I was standing right there, have a clear play on the ball.
No, you didn't have a clear play on the ball. That's not my ruling.
Oh, I have to tell you, I think that's harsh, guys. Matt Ebden was standing right there when that call was made.
I agree. I think he absolutely had a play on that ball. The replay would be very beneficial if we can see it at some stage, but if we can't, we'll just have to remember what we saw. I mean,
well, I'm sitting right here, out here, and that was a shocking call from the umpire.
Well, I think a bit of the luck and a few of the calls maybe there went against Matt Ebden. I feel he was a little hard done by, but nevertheless, he's down 2 breaks in this second set now. So here's a replay of that juice point in the previous game. See, there's no doubt Matt Ebden had a play on that ball, no doubt. Maybe the issue would be when the ball was actually called out. But by his reaction, he'd already started to turn away as he hit the ball. And the call from Roland Herfel was that he didn't have a play on the ball. That's what his words were.
Yeah, you're right. And I think he was hardly done by. And to his credit, Ebden, no matter the circumstances, he went up and argued the point. So he should have.
I don't think my reaction would have been the same as Matt's, I've got to tell you. He handled that really well. I mean, he let it go, but boy, that's very poor decision from the umpire there.
You're saying he handled it with class, Stubbsy, eh?
No, maybe some, I don't know, some inexperience to not let the umpire have it there, because he really had a play on that ball. So I don't know. Sometimes you have to let the umpire know that you're not going to back down sometimes as well, Fitzy.
So, Stubbsy, what would you have done in that situation?
I think I would have told him to watch the tape after the match.
Not a person to take a backward step, is she, our Renee? Well, I'm always a believer in doing what your nature is, intends you to do. He's a pretty quiet guy, Matt Ebden. He stands up for himself. Oh, gee, hit that hard.
Didn't he what? Well, the big issue, though, just belatedly on that point, is once it's over, it's over. You can't do anything about it. You've got to move on and focus on the next few points. He's done that.
Yeah, I think some players, you think of John McEnroe, he actually benefited from, venting his spleen and halting the situation. But if that doesn't suit you, then I guess don't do it.
Game set up.
I'll tell you what's obvious from sitting on court side and really watching this match is that Robin Soderling, when he wants to turn up the pace, it's unbelievable. And I think that's a difference in why he's number 5 in the world and one of the best players and contenders for Grand Slams, because when the opportunity comes, you can really tell that he gets his feet in position and he rips it. He goes for it. He does not wait for the opponent to make the mistake. He really wants it.
love 15.
Well, look, it's gone a little bit pear-shaped here for Matthew. I think there's a lot of things he can learn, though, from this experience, and he was certainly there, very competitive in the first 30 minutes.
15
But that's the secret, isn't it? The great players, they can do this for 4 hours. You'd always prefer to see the sequence of double fault followed by an ace rather than the opposite. So good way to come back there.
Gee, that's impressive, isn't it? Big man, lots of power, but still moving well, particularly side to side. Perhaps not so well going. Look how quickly he moves into position here. Wham! And this one was a good shot of Ebden. He's there, Soderling, and does something special back with it. He's hit that serve well today, Ebden. Not looking for pace, he's looking for direction and swing. Hits on the right side of the ball. Away it goes.
Net versus.
You can see the look in the eye there of Soderling. He's up set 5-1. Doesn't matter. He wants this game. He wants to finish it here and now. Ruthless.
Goodness.
Advantage. Soderling.
What can you say about that? That's as good as it gets. So it's a match point now to Robin Soderling.
Deuce. Advantage Ebden. Deuce.
Great power, great angle, and I think it might have hit the line and been helped with an increase of speed off that line. Be nice for Matt Ebden to hold this game. You've got to give it to these Queenslanders. They're really behind the young Aussie. It's good to see.
Advantage Ebden.
Well done. Good hold there from Matthew Ebden. He still trails 5-2 though.
New balls, please. Soderling leads 5 games to 2.
So young Western Australian Matthew Ebden there pondering the situation. It's not over yet, this experience.
And Fitzy, if he does go down here, which looks like he might, what might he come off and discuss with Anthony Lane as to, now that he's played against a player of this level, what he's got to do next to bring his own level up to the next stage?
Well, I think he could study his opponent and see what his strengths are for a start, and maybe take a bit of a leaf out of his book. I think it's obvious in the men's modern game of tennis, the heaviness of ball is completely different to what it was a decade ago. And you know, he's got a lot of assets, Matthew Ebden, but his heaviness is not yet in the same league as someone like Soderling.
By heaviness, you mean weight of shot, just penetration.
Yeah.
That's good.
I think to be able to generate more of his own speed, more of his own pace of shot would be a good start, because you know, if you get into the ATP Tour and you're playing tournaments like this every week, this is at the top end of that heaviness I'm talking about, but all of these players hit the ball with a lot of weight. And they keep it in for long periods of time. So he's got a lot to work with, though.
30-50.
I also think his serve is part of that. It's a good serve, it's accurate, but I think it's got to be bigger.
I agree with you, absolutely. Everything's good in this game. You've got to be better than good. You've got to keep moving up and go to very good and then great.
So he's like a big locomotive, this man, the #1 seed, Robin Soderling. Last 2 years he's been in the French Open final, and this year at the Brisbane International he's on the verge of going into the semi-final. So he finishes it with a bomb, does Robin Soderling. He's through to the semi-finals here in Brisbane with a convincing win in the end, 6-3, 6-2.
In fact, that is Soderling through to his first semi-final here in Brisbane. A mighty effort from Matthew Ebden, but the top seed just way too good. Don't forget tonight we have 2 women's semi-finals coming your way. Andrea Petkovic of Germany against Marianne Bartoli of France, a former Wimbledon finalist there, Bartoli, and Petra Kvitova up against Anastasia Pavlyuchenko. And then 2 men's semis tomorrow. Roddick against 6'7" Kevin Anderson and Robin Soderling against Radek Stepanek. They played the last time back in 2009. But make sure you join Todd tonight from 10:30 p.m.